You gotta ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Welcome back to Backtrack Cinema, guys. In this video today, we'll be ranking all 5 films from the Dirty Harry franchise.
Swell.
So pop some popcorn, get a drink, and let's talk Dirty Harry. Go ahead. Make my day.
Covenant, you're calling Raven.
Payback time.
Come with me if you want to live.
You just don't turn it off!
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason, and you're watching Backtrack Cinema, where we talk movies of the past that you know and love. And we're back, guys. I'm sorry I've been away for a while. I've been down with a bad cold, so I thought I'm gonna stop being a fucking pussy, because we gotta talk Dirty Harry, and there's no pussies allowed. So we are now gonna rank the Dirty Harry franchise from my least favorite to my absolute favorite. I started reviewing these movies back when I started the channel. We finally got them all done. And I do apologize if I didn't get them done in time, guys. But, you know, like YouTube, everything gets in the way. There's so many projects, so many things you're doing all the time. So I do apologize. But here we are. We're going to talk some Dirty Harry. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think of the Dirty Harry franchise. Where do you rank all these films? Because it is a underrated, great franchise. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this one when we mention our favorite franchises, but it is one solid action franchise. I got to give it that.
You're shit out of luck.
So in last place for me is the Deadpool. I do like the concept of this story here, of this Deadpool game, where we're predicting when famous celebrities will die, and you get Harry Callahan's name on the list, which starts off as just a little game between directors and other people in that social circle, and then a psychopath gets a hold of this game and takes it serious, where he starts offing all these celebrities. So I really like the concept. It gets too ridiculous. It gets too cheesy. It's relying more on one-liners and quips rather than having real good substance like the other Dirty Harry films, where it was about, you know, the dissection of the justice system and Dirty Harry's, you know, worldviews, always standing up for the victim. All that kind of stuff is not in here as much. But you do get some, you know, special appearances with like Jim Carrey when he was young, Liam Neeson. We got Guns N' Roses making a special appearance. The soundtrack's really good. I really like Patricia Clarkson in this movie. I really think she's friendly to the eyes. I think her and Clint Eastwood have some really good chemistry. I like how giddy she gets when she's in Dirty Harry's presence. You can obviously tell she is hot for this freaking man. And I love what they learn from each other throughout this movie. Clint Eastwood always brings it to this character. I love what he does with the character. It just gets a little over the top for me. Entertaining enough. I would not skip it if I was doing a marathon of the Dirty Harry franchise.
Except that out there, you're gonna have a partner. And if you get blown away, he gets blown away with you. And that's a hell of a price to pay for being stylish.
Number 4, TheEnforcer. Now, I originally did have this at last place, but I rewatched it. It would be my 3rd time I've rewatched this series. I rewatched TheEnforcer, and I was like, you know, there is a lot of good stuff about this movie. I love how Dirty Harry takes on a female partner in this, and how they really learn from each other. Like, he gets to know her more. She gets to know how he thinks. He gets to know how she thinks. She's very bright. She knows the law from a textbook point of view, and he teaches her what it's really like out on the streets and what it's really like being a detective. But it just didn't push anything more. It didn't push the story more. It was more repetitive, more of what we've already seen in the previous Dirty Harry films. And they add a female cop partner, which she sacrifices herself for Harry, and I thought that was a really great ending and everything. I get bored a lot through this movie, I find. And I find that the score was not very good in this movie. I didn't feel like the score was adding to the movie at all. It was actually taking away from it, so it just didn't do much for me. The villains, too, very weak villains. You don't get to know much about them. There's these crazy ex-military guys who are kind of radicalists and all that kind of stuff, and I just feel like we should have got more character development from them, and we didn't. So it really brings the movie down a bit. But the most interesting part is Harry and Kate Moore, Harry and his partner. And the narrative in the story is that we got it, they want more women on the police force, more women as inspectors and stuff like that. And Harry's point was it wasn't that she was a woman, is that she's got to earn her right to be there. When she has a partner, it's just not about her. She's got a partner to look out for too. And that's what she learns. What I love so much is that she sacrifices herself and really learns, she gives up her life for her partner. And I love how she takes the responsibility when she's dying. She go, "Oh, Harry, I messed up." And, then Harry takes care of fucking business, blows the freaking guy out of a tower with a rocket launcher. Great stuff. But yeah.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Number 3 is Sudden Impact. I really like that Clint Eastwood directed this one. He adds a lot to it. It went from more darker areas, a little bit more tension. I do like the villains in this. I mean, they're set up to be really, really bad. And this plays more into almost like a vigilante type story like Death Wish, you know what I mean? And everything Dirty Harry's been preaching about, what about victims? What about their rights? We get this victim of Sandra Locke. 10 years earlier, her and her sister were victims of a rape crime. Her sister's never spoke again. She's in like some kind of mental institute. And so she takes revenge on everybody. You get to see the effects of the bad guys in these Dirty Harry films, what they do to victims in the long run. And this is what Dirty Harry's been preaching about all this time. Now, the movie is contrived a bit at the beginning. There's several different storylines, all zigzagging and everything. And then Dirty Harry gets sent to this small town to investigate who's killing all these people. And that's where the story really finds itself. And from there on out, it's just awesome. Great cinematography in this film. I really like the way Clint Eastwood shot this film. And I really like the third act. I think it's awesome. And how Dirty Harry just turns a blind eye to what Sandra Locke has done to all these people, and looks the other way. I think at this point in the series, Dirty Harry's had enough of seeing victims being wronged all the time, victims having some serious trauma to them. So he looks the other way, and she kind of gets away scot-free at the end. And I think that was a turning point for Dirty Harry. 2 movies earlier, he wouldn't have done that. So I like seeing that character growth with him.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Number 2, the original Dirty Harry. Now, I love this film. The fact that it's at number 2, it's just, I like the other one just a little bit more, but I will clarify this though. I do think this is the best movie of the franchise. If I'm being objective, I would say this is the best movie. I love the gritty feel to it. It is complete inspiration for films like Cobra and Lethal Weapon. I really just like the dissection of the justice system and, his worldviews on everything, where he is all about the victims and, he's fighting through judges and lawyers and red tape and all this kind of stuff. Like, he doesn't get a warrant when he takes down the rooftop killer, because this killer's a psychopath, but he's not dumb. He knows his rights. He knows the general public are gonna sympathize for him because he has rights too and all that. And if we could get into Dirty Harry's head a bit, if you're freaking killing people, you hijacking a busload of kids, man, you've lost your rights. You've lost your rights. It's Dirty Harry fighting through all his superiors, how they're just placating to this killer when he's just gonna keep killing and killing and killing. Like, when's enough, right? I just love the shot at the end where Scorpio, kidnaps all these kids. He's got them on the school bus. And there's Eastwood. There's Dirty Harry right at the top of the bridge, and he jumps off the bus into this great third act. Beginning of the movie where he does that famous line, what you got to ask yourself, one question. Do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? And it's kind of lighthearted at the beginning. But when he finally catches this complete psychopath, Dirty Harry is cranked it up. Clint Eastwood's cranked it up to 10. And he's just like, do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? And then, he shoots him. Mind you, Scorpio went for the gun first, so he had every right to shoot him. But the fact that he throws his badge away, he gives up his whole career at this point anyway, because we don't know what happens in the sequels. He gives up his whole career and everything to save people. You mean save victims who have a lifetime of trauma after, and he gives up everything for that to get this killer. And I just love that. And it has great action through the movie. It's a one of a kind movie. It really is. It's such a charismatic character with Dirty Harry, and I do think Scorpio is the best villain in all these Dirty Harry films. Andrew Robinson was just insane, and he was fantastic in it. I had to go with Magnum Force at number 1. I've done this series 3 times now. I haven't grown up with these movies. These movies weren't part of my childhood or anything, so I just had a shitload of entertainment with this movie. I thought it was so entertaining. I thought it was much faster paced. The action was completely on point with all the chase scenes, fight scenes, the shootouts, all that kind of stuff I absolutely loved. I never actually saw the twist coming with the Dirty Harry's superior there being part of this, leading these renegade cops. And I like that. These police officers who are villains who are out getting, killing mobsters and mafia people, but they're also kind of killing innocent people too. And that's where Dirty Harry has to draw the line. And, they're a mirror to Dirty Harry, what Dirty Harry could become, but, he is all about upholding the law, believe it or not. He's all about, until the law changes, this is all we have. So he follows through with the law, even though he's hard around the edges. Even though he does stuff his way, he gets in shit a lot, but he will always uphold the law. I find we get to know Dirty Harry a lot more in this, fleshing out his character a bit more. Like, I like the scene where he comes home to his apartment and he's got the picture of his wife that we know for the first movie that he lost his wife. And, he just kind of just looks at her and kind of, and that's it. And it's very Clint Eastwood. It's so subtle. He misses her, and all that kind of stuff, but it's so subtle. Love that. I love some of the humor in this where he comes home and the girl, his neighbor, wants to sleep with him. And it's like, what's a girl got to do to sleep with a guy like you? And I just love how Clint's just looking at her like this. He does that double blink.
Try knocking on the door?
Love it, man. Absolutely love it. It's hilarious, but also some really great tension in the movie too. Like he has to get the bomb out of his mailbox. I thought that was fantastic, that whole sequence. And very well handled action sequences, man. Very well handled. I love the shootout with his partner in the convenience store. I love the way that's shot, where you look down the barrel of the gun and stuff like that, and where the camera's going back and forth down the aisles and stuff, and just absolutely love it. I thought the action sequences were handled so well in this. Magnum Force just won me over with getting to know Dirty Harry more in its action sequences and the pacing of the movie, even though the villains weren't quite as good, but the concept of the villains was really good. Like, there were these renegade cops, cops who have had enough, and just taking out bad guys everywhere. What a cool idea for a sequel to this, and a really good score too. So that's it, guys. That's how I would rank the Dirty Harry franchise. What about you? Let me know in the comments below what you think of Dirty Harry, and I'd love to talk to you all in the comments. Let's have a great discussion about Dirty Harry. Forgive me of my voice and stuff. I'm still battling this freaking cold, but I'm trying to get over it, getting down here and doing more videos for you guys. So doing my best here. And you know what? If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like and share. It really helps. Go down the rabbit hole too. Check out other videos I have done, because that really helps the channel out too. If you guys don't know that, once you watch one of my videos, then you watch the next one, the algorithm really picks that up and pushes the videos out more. So I'd really appreciate you guys just doing what you can for the channel, and it would mean a lot to me. So my name is Jason. You're watching Backtrack Cinema. I will see you next time, and I will see you in the movies. Cheers.